Dr. Toope， 英国剑桥大学校长，2016年获颁加拿大最高荣誉勋章加拿大官佐勋章，许木柱，慈济大学副校长，为研究台湾原住民之著名人类学专家，严云，前台北医学大学校长，慈济基金会董事，在血液肿瘤、骨髓移植等领域钻研极深，心灵讲座以慈济国际发展与人道賑灾主题切入，邀请3位对谈来宾分享教育的本质，鼓励年轻人跨出步伐，让心无国界，以大爱作为国际桥梁。
I'm very curious about Dr. Toope. As a lawyer or study the rule of the law, you probably should judge people right or wrong, right? Instead of be an altruism and help everybody. So what is your thoughts and what make you changes? Or even never been changed? You're born with a big heart. Yeah. Do you mind to talk a little bit about that?
Well, I don't think that I accept the premise entirely that that the rule of law means judging people right and wrong. I actually think the rule of law, understood in a complex way, can be of assistance in thinking about altruism and about how it is that society functions, because the rule of law is really to say two things, as far as I understand it. One is that there have to be open processes, predictable processes, and fairness in a system, so that you know when you are dealing with public authorities or with corporations or with other human beings in your society, that there are certain expectations and there are certain ways of doing things that you can count on, and that you won't be subjected to arbitrary measures. That's one aspect of the rule of law. The other aspect of the rule of law is that no one is above the law, that the most powerful person, the wealthiest person, should be subject to the law in the same way that the poor person is. Now, we don't achieve this perfectly, I hesitate to add, but I do think that both of those ideas of the rule of law are actually very liberating ideas, because they really talk about equality, essentially, in society. Equality that we're all subject to the law in the same way, and equality that we can all have the same expectations of behavior. And I think, therefore, that the rule of law really does aid in creating healthy societies that are based around equality and treatment of other people in fair-minded ways and altruistic ways.
Thanks. How about Dr. Xu, from the anthropologist? What you get involved into this compassionate release and the Tzu what is the background, and in what kind of a turning point you get involved into this?
Things happen quite naturally, because I feel quite natural to get involved in compassionate relief with Tzu. I shifted from Academia Sinica to Tzu University in 1998. Actually, in the very beginning, at the year of 2000, because my specialty is in psychological anthropology and also in educational anthropology as well. So I decided to help the indigenous students to improve their academic performance. So since that year, I did some kind of voluntary works among the remote area schools. And in 2004, I got a chance to accompany some medical doctors to do a free clinic in Jakarta in Indonesia, because in Jakarta had been suffered by a flooding occurred in 2002, and then the Tsuji volunteers in Indonesia help the government and the people to clean up the river and then build a great love village. So that's my first time to do international charity work.
So I think the good communications plus the well-educated program really benefit to overall, not just for the Aboriginal, it's also for the educated providers as well. Yeah, since we all serve for the education systems. Since we have a video provided from Dr. Xu, let's take a look at that.
沙漠上搭立帐篷更为艰难，每个帐篷可以住5个人，志工必须搭满300个，才能容纳约1500人栖身之处。当物资车进入沙漠，陷入沙砾是家常便饭，赈灾之路崎岖难行。大漠里一步一脚印，一个又一个爱的足迹，逐渐获得了许多人的认同。贩卖发放物资的厂商开始免费提供载送服务，而载运的司机也穿上了志工背心帮忙。贵为王室的约旦哈山亲王也被慈济志工感动，放下身段，屡次亲自参与发放。
Coming from East Asia to visit people in West Asia, we are developing a feeling of a shared identity of our Asian family. But why does one consider reaching out to people? That is the definition of responsibility. We have a responsibility to give everyone a chance.
至今，慈济每年的约旦大发放，志工走遍大漠边境，毫无间断。距离雅加达市中心大约2个半小时车程的努鲁亚伊曼习经院，创立于1998年排华暴动后第2天。传统的伊斯兰学校专门收容失去父母、贫困无依的孩子。从幼儿到青少年，目前至少有2万名孩子在这里得到免费的庇护和学习。虔诚的伊斯兰教徒和华人异教徒之间能有交集吗？
Boleh apa? Makan karena sakit gigi? Telan, telan. Kau tidak mensyukuri nikmat Allah, Allah marah. Betul? Tapi kalau kita punya, Allah Maha mendengar. Wah, si Toope.
用穆斯林虔诚信仰的思维模式，这位尼蒂马达医师耐心地传达正确吃东西的方法，而这也是他第5次来到习经院。
Dalam pun demikian. Dia jangan pasrah. Itu WC.
Because my students, they come from all over Indonesia, and they don't come from the town area. They come from the villages, very deep in the village, rural areas. Some come from the jungle areas of Kalimantan and Jambi. So before that, they never see people that are non-Indonesian.
现在看到了华人面孔，学生们不仅不陌生，反而就像老朋友一样。特别是尼蒂马达医师，总是又唱又说笑话，很幽默地教导如何保护牙齿，逗得这群穆斯林学生好快乐。然而，这个景象在10多年前是不可能发生的事情。 10年来，每个月50吨的大米，让习经院的孩子可以尝到台湾的米饭香。
Ada sekarang ini adalah sudah berdarah daging dengan kita. Mereka juga adalah anak-anak pondok pesantren.
从起初3000多位孩童，如今有了2万多个孩子等着吃饭。孩子们除了学习《可兰经》和基本的生活自理外，慈济人一路陪伴，也让他们明白手心向下和自力更生的重要。
Nuriman nanti yang bantu di Seci, di PIK. Kerana anak-anak Nuriman harus tahu bagaimana bekerja sama dengan bangsa lain, agama lain. Kerana kita manusia. Kalau manusia ya adalah makhluk sosial. So you are dependent on each other. Kita saling tergantung dan saling membantu satu sama lain.
官员也会感恩我们的人。
佛教团体为伊斯兰学校盖校舍，作为习经院的大学，10年来定期的义诊与发放，渐渐的让这所传统的伊斯兰学校和慈济结下了深厚的情谊。
You know, children, they're impressionable. They always remember when I was small, the Buddhist Association came to my school. They helped me with my teeth or with my health. You know, they will always remember that.
现在习经院将正言法师比喻成阿拉真主的特使，更将静思语当成品德教育的课程，而孩子们也借着静思语学中文。
I think through this interaction, then we know who we are, the Seci, the Buddhist people, and the Indonesian people. We felt that we are all the same.
印华之间的历史积怨，从误解、仇恨到终于被信任，这一步，华人用爱和实际行动走了10多年。历史也终将证明，唯有跨越种族与偏见的无私大爱，才能带来真正的和平。
Thank you, Dr. Toope. So based on this video, what do you think about Tzu Chi's doing, and any comments from you? Do you agree? Do you have any further comments, suggestion to them?
Seems to me to make sense to try, as you've said, to bring hope, to bring concrete assistance, but not to be trying to tell people what they should believe. I think that just never works. The only comment I would have, of course, is that these are wonderful stories, great examples, but of course there are countervailing forces, and there will be other schools in Indonesia that will be talking a very different kind of future for the country. So I think the point is, this is going to be a very lengthy and I think difficult struggle to continue to bring the messages that you're bringing in the face of alternative messages which are really full of exclusion, full of, frankly, hatred. And I think we can't be naive in thinking that there's inevitability about the triumph of goodness in these circumstances. I think it's going to be a very difficult struggle.
I think so. We should be prudently work with each individual or each society, and then provide help as we can.
And we also hope to have more volunteers in Indonesia so that we can do things better.
So I would like to switch the gear a little bit about education. So Dr. Toope, you are going to lead the most prestigious university of the world, Cambridge, and you will be the president, the top leadership role. So what you want to bridge this prestigious university into the modern conflict? What kind of message?
Well, Cambridge is more than 800 years old. So the first thing I think I have to recognize is that one person is not going to shift the entire dynamic of an 800-year-old institution. I will be the 346th Vice Chancellor. And I think that just gives one a sense of humility, I hope, about what's possible. Having said that, I actually think that Cambridge has already changed dramatically, and my view of universities is that they are both the most long-lived, the most tradition-bound, but also the most flexible institutions in our society. Because in fact, our institutions, our universities have changed hugely since the founding of institutions like universities in the Middle Ages. If you think of what Cambridge was in the Middle Ages, it was first off all men. It was teaching only theology and law. And it was a very small cohort, I mean, a tiny percentage of the population. Now we have universities that have tens of thousands of students that are teaching the whole range of human endeavor, that are connected deeply with society in ways that the university wasn't in the Middle Ages. It was meant not to be. Now we are. So I think that my experience already in talking with my colleagues, my new colleagues at Cambridge, is that there is a deep, deep commitment to bringing the knowledge of Cambridge to the service of humanity. Not everyone. Some people are there and they want to sit in the library and learn something very, very detailed and then share it with a few other people, and that's not bad. That's just the transmission of knowledge through generations still matters, it seems to me. But I would say that there are more and more people who want to take the knowledge that they're gaining and actually see it have an impact in the wider world. And so I actually think one's pushing at an open door on that. When I talk to young professors, I am always struck by how they really believe that they're in the university because the university is one of the greatest places to make the world better. And so I think we all have to try hard to give them the opportunity to do that.
But Cambridge is composed from many colleges. These colleges, they are big, they are small, they have a different history, also burden, and also endowed size is also different. So how can you use the humanity to unify that? And what's the strategy you are going to use?
Well, again, luckily I don't have to invent this out of whole cloth. There has been a lot of work done over the last 30 and 40 years to help unite the colleges around the university framework more than was true historically. I mean, this was another difference back to the Middle Ages. The colleges were utterly independent, and the Cambridge was really just a place. It wasn't the university. Now, I think there is a recognition within the colleges that to be effective in the world today, in the complex world, the expensive world, the competitive world of higher education, you can't really succeed as a relatively small college, that you have to be part of a larger institution. And so my predecessor, the current Vice Chancellor, uses the terminology collegiate Cambridge. Whenever he refers to Cambridge, he doesn't say the University of Cambridge, he says collegiate Cambridge does such and such. And that has sent very powerful signals, I think, that the colleges are respected. It's a bit like us talking about the need to respect cultures. The colleges have their own cultures. They need to be respected. The traditions need to be respected. And yet, I think there is a very widespread understanding that they need to work together and that the university is the framework that allows that to happen.
I think that play the fairness for each college, yes. Right? We're all in the education institutes. What we see is that the young generation, they're extremely brilliant. They are really smart. However, they would like to learn by the new way, the cell phone, the Google, instead of the classroom, the master, the lecture. So seems like we have to put the technology into the education. So in Cambridge, do you have anything can share with us or let us to learn from you? Yeah.
Well, I don't know enough yet since I haven't actually got to Cambridge, but I will say that I couldn't agree with you more. I think that the current and I'm sure future generations will simply not tolerate a person standing on a stage giving a lecture and hoping that people will be taking a lot of notes. So every educational institution of which I've been a part in the last 30 years is trying to figure out what the new way of education really looks like. There's a lot of great research being done about how the adult brain processes. We've got to switch, and it's happening, and I know it's happening at Cambridge as well. I think we're going to have to accelerate those changes. People talk about flipped classrooms, where, for example, the student is learning most of the content online before the class, comes to class, and the whole point of the class is to have a debate or a discussion or to work together in teams to solve problems. And that's what motivates people to learn today. It is not people dictating notes.
I would like to add one word to Dr. Toope about the technology. Many people in Taiwan said, 科技不外乎人性. Technology cannot do without considering human nature. And to me, I think technology is invented for humans' need, not just for itself. So invention should be done to take care of people's needs. I think that really means something. And I think, but I feel sorry that many youngsters, young people outside this room, not in this room, but many of them outside this room, just forget this saying. I think that's quite, it's not good to see.
One of the major missions of the Tzu is environmental protections. So from your work at the universities, how you introduce this idea into the education then? Yeah.
There are formal courses to deal with environmental protection. In addition to the formal class, we also urge the students to do by themselves recycling so that the environment can be protected. That anyway, we focus on practicing. We urge the students to do things by themselves so that to internalize the idea of environmental protection into their mind.
Thank you. Our time is up. So thanks for all the audience. Spend your time and together with us. Thank you.